Hey guys, Sonny the Badger here, and today's episode is all about Harley Davidson pricing madness. Let's get into it. Hey guys, Sonny the Badger here from the Badgers and the Biker Lifestyle on Facebook, and of course right here on my YouTube channel, The Badgers. If it's your first time visiting us, welcome to my channel. We talk about all things motorcycles. As you can see, I've got one in the back here tore down. That's Mama Badger's bike. It's getting new apes. Watch for the video next week on the 5 things I learned while I was putting those apes on. But we cover all things motorcycle, mainly Harley Davidson stuff. But welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back, guys. I'm glad to see you back here again. As I said in the title, I want to talk about Harley Davidson's pricing. So they just released the 2022 models. Awesome, right? They've got some really cool Road Glide ST, Street Glide ST, the new CVOs are out. Of course, they've got the brand new Lowrider ST, and all of those are awesome, right? And, you know, one of the things people said about like the Lowrider ST was, what price point is it going to come in at? Is it going to be affordable? And I mean, it came in at a little under $22,000, which seems pretty affordable, right? The new Road Glide ST, $29,999 is MSRP on Harley Davidson's website. But that's not the whole story. So what I mean by that is, and of course, let me preface this with all Harley Davidsons. I don't know about all the other motorcycles, but I know Harley Davidsons because I watch the book pretty frequently. All of them, the value has went up. If you go look at book value of all the used Harley Davidsons out there, they've went up. I've noticed my bikes have went up by a couple $1,000s as far as like retail pricing goes. So they have went up. And, you know, those books are kind of like watching the motorcycle stock market, right? The only problem is the stocks never go up. They always go down. But not this year. This year, all those stocks have went up. The value of Harley Davidsons, at least the used Harley Davidsons, have all went up. That's freaking fantastic news for all of us Harley Davidson owners, right? That isn't until they go back down, and then we're where we started at. But I didn't buy my Harley Davidsons for investments. I bought my Harley Davidsons for enjoyment, fun, riding, and I'm going to ride the wheels off of them. So that doesn't really matter that much to me, but I thought it was a cool point to point out that that is the case. But back to what today's subject is about. So has anybody like went and tried to buy one of the new 2022 Harley Davidsons from their local Harley Davidson dealership? So I've done a little calling around, done a little research, and a lot of the dealerships are tacking, at least on the STs, they're tacking $3,000 to $5,000 on top of MSRP, and all the regular bikes. From one of the dealerships I talked to, it's $3,000 to $5,000 on every bike that rolls off of that trailer. So MSRP is here. They're tacking on $3,000 to $5,000. So essentially, you're starting in the hole, right? Because if the book value on the bike MSRP, and then you tack $3,000 to $5,000 on top of that, not to mention tags, taxes, all the pluses that the dealerships do, right? So now all of a sudden that $30,000 bike is now $35,000, $38,000, $40,000. So maybe that pricing point for like the ST, instead of being 22 is now 27. That kind of changes that whole game, right? I know it's supply and demand, and I don't blame the dealerships. If people will pay it, they're going to make their money. So that kind of falls back on us, right? That makes it our fault for buying them at $3,000 to $5,000 over. CVOs, $10,000, $15,000 over. And they have a line of people waiting to buy them. they can't keep them. They roll them out. People snatch them up. They pay 10 to 15 grand over. If they don't want to pay that, guess what? Next. Till the person that does want to pay it comes along. So unfortunately, now you're taking a $50,000 CVO, selling it for $65,000, and the owner is never going to recoup that extra $15,000. They're not going to be able to sell it for that in a few years down the road. So what does that do to our used bike market in the coming future? That ultimately kind of becomes my question. Because if all of these people are going and buying these bikes at $3,000 to $15,000 over MSRP, in 3 to 4 years when they go to get rid of it and they want that extra money out of their bike and they're not getting it, what does that do to future sales? Does that mean people don't buy new bikes and they hang on to the bike they've got? What does that equal out for the future of motorcycle sales? I know Harley, specifically, the dealerships are buying up all the used bikes they can get their hands on because I assume they want to control that market as well, right? Because if they have all the used bikes and they're selling the used bikes, then they can control the pricing on that as well. So I remember back in like 2014, 2015, when I was working at Harley, we couldn't give the bikes away. I mean, we sold a lot of bikes, but I mean, we would start at MSRP and then we would work our way down. Now they start $5 grand over MSRP and work their way up. Either you pay what they're selling it for or you don't get the bike, period, plain and simple. So kind of like the old days. I mean, I've said for years Harley needed to do this, create a supply and demand thing. And I think COVID essentially did it for them. And I don't know if any of the other bike brands are in the same boat. If they are, leave a comment below. I'm super curious to know. I just haven't spent the time and don't have the energy to, to dig into Honda, Kawasaki, Indian, any of those. But I know Harley pretty well because I own them. I'm always looking at buying them. I'm always hunting a good deal, which, by the way, guys, there are still good deals out there. I found a Softail last week for $3,500. So anyway, there are deals out there to be found. You just have to dig for them. Unfortunately, I don't think those deals will be found at your local Harley Davidson dealership. Don't get me wrong, I don't fault them at all. I think it's great business. And if you have the ability to sell and make that money, I mean, that's why you own a dealership, right? That's why you're in business. Although I know a lot of people are going to be mad at Harley Davidson because the prices are so high. Guys, Harley Davidson's MSRP is on the website. So if there's anything over that price going on, that would be your dealership. And Harley Davidson, doesn't control that. So think about that before you start screaming that Harley Davidson's too expensive, because they're not the ones controlling that. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Over the past couple weeks, I've heard a lot about this, and I was like, you know what? I want to hop on. I want to talk about it because it is a lot of insanity to pay, for me anyway, to pay that much over retail. But the truth of the matter is, I guess it's happening in the car and truck market as well. People are paying way over because they want a new car or a new truck, and they're just not available. So you pay supply and demand again. If you want the car and they've got it, then you pay whatever they request you pay. Anyway, guys, thanks again for hanging out with me today. If you like videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. You can ring the bell icon and be notified every time I upload a new video. Of course, leave your comments. I love to read them. Hopefully I can respond to them. And remember, guys, it's not about the destination. It's all about the ride. See you next week.